Hi! Welcome back! Today's episode is our last in our Gluttony and Culture series, but no one's getting divorced in this story. Ha ha ha. I told you I'm very happily married and there are no problems in my relationship, but this story does focus on someone's relationship because, hey, that's fun, right? So, this will be the last time we talk about gluttony, but it won't be the last time we talk about someone else's relationship. So, I've prepared a story for us today. I've got it right here, ready for you. But before we get started, I think you need some cultural background so that you can really get the weight of what's going on in this story, understand why this is such a big deal. So in Korea, food is a very big deal, as it is in many cultures, but they have a sharing culture, which doesn't mean like, I'll eat a little off of your plate, you can have a little off of mine. The whole meal is usually shared. There's usually a shared entree and then lots of side dishes, and everybody eats together. Maybe you have your private little bowl of something, but generally something is shared. The main meal is shared. So, and that's something reflected in the culture. That's something that's been around in Korea since time immemorial, really. And it's something that fosters closeness and connection. And pretty much any society that had food insecurity, like post-war Korea, has this strong cultural connection to food equals affection. Food equals caring. The way you treat people with food shows how much you care about them. So, if somebody's really selfish about food, that says something, doesn't it? So, I think Koreans are so attached to food that even in aspects of their daily language, you've got food, right? Somebody saying, "Have you eaten?" is the same as saying, "How are you?" or "How have you been?" Even like, "When are you getting married?" in Korean is going to be "국수 언제 먹지?" When am I going to eat your guksu, which is a noodle dish that's traditionally served at weddings? There's so many things in the language that just goes back to food, like 나이 먹다 means I ate age, which, it just means you got older. But food and eating is worked into even just the fabric of the language. So it should be no surprise that food is a really big deal among people and in relationships. So with that in mind, listen to this story. I should also tell you, of course, just like in every culture, we have this idea of don't take the last thing on the table, right? It's rude. If you've got a plate of dumplings and everybody's been eating and there's only one dumpling left, then you might say like, "Hey, does anybody want the last dumpling?" Or if it's just two together, you might say like, "Hey, do you want the last one?" And if they say no, then you take it and eat it, right? In the US, we clear our plate. That's polite. But in Korea, they don't. They either leave it or they split it together because sharing is caring, right? So think about that as you listen to this story. So here begins our tale. Our story begins with a woman who is in her late 20s. And her boyfriend, it says there's a 4-year, her boyfriend says there's a 4-year age difference. And they've been dating for just over 100 days. It says 400일 조금 넘게 means like just over 400. Did I say 400 years? Just over 400 days. I don't know what I said, but you know what I mean. 400 days. In fact, in Korea, they don't count by the months, or not much by the years either. They mainly go by the hundreds of days until the relationship is really, really long, like 10 years, 20 years. So 400 days is a more common way to express that we've been dating a little over a year. When they started dating, she ate very little and he ate quite a lot. If they have their shared meal together, he's eating about 80%, she's eating about 20%. But as they get more comfortable together, as they continue to see each other and date, she starts eating a little more. She says, "I got to know the joy of food from eating with my boyfriend." Oh, isn't that sweet? So we can probably think she's getting a little bit of that relationship pudge, that boyfriend belly. And so the boyfriend starts changing his behavior. He develops this habit of when they're sitting down, eating all of the shared food first before tackling his own private dish if he's got one. He's always polishing off a little bit of her food and the shared food, even like taking stuff from her plate or commenting on what she's got to eat, saying things like, don't you feel full? Or, 자기 요즘 많이 먹네? Like, you've been eating so much these days. Like, dude, don't say that to me. Never say that to me. It's my body. I'll eat how much I want. I know when my tummy is full. Back off. 많이 먹네. So he says, I don't want you to feel too full, right? You've been eating so much. How about I take some extra first? So he's like preventing her at the beginning of the meal from getting too full, which, you're taking food away from your loved one, right? It's a little too much. And I get it. Maybe he's trying to drop a hint that she's put on a little bit of weight. Maybe he's, trying to say, he doesn't like the boyfriend belly. But that's not the way to talk to her about it. You don't just steal her food. You say, hey, I notice your body changing. Or you can be an adult because he's 4 years older than her, so he should act like an adult and just accept that bodies change over time. And if it has nothing to do with her body and he's just maybe upset that the 80-20 has changed to more like 60-40, that's not better. That just means he's upset that his portion size got smaller. He's just being greedy and selfish. So this bad habit of food hoarding has developed. And so what's the breaking point? What's the bad thing that happened? Ooh, my noodles are getting all sticky. I should have mixed this sooner. Chinese food, which is what I have here. And she orders it to her house for them to enjoy together because she's a lovely, nice lady. And in Korea, they have sort of some like set menu, foods that always go together, foods that are like a perfect combination, just like we do all over the world. A burger and French fries, classic combination. Steak and potatoes, classic. Soup and salad, classic. So in Korea, they also have their classic combinations, like black noodles and mandu, which is Korean Chinese food, actually. It's not the same as Chinese food or American Chinese food, or it's specifically Korean Chinese food. And this one is called jjajangmyeon, and this is called mandu, which is noodles. And so she orders some jjajangmyeon and some jampong, which is like a seafood noodle soup kind of thing, and some shrimp, some. What was it called? It was called ganpung shrimp, which it's a little different, right? This is a normal meal, but that shrimp is sort of like a date food. It's a little more pricey. It's something that's meant to be shared. Imagine if you're in the U.S. and you get a plate of oysters, right? Oysters are pricey. Oysters are a date food, and they're meant to be shared. You don't polish off 20 oysters by yourself, I hope. But so imagine it's like that. So the food comes, and it's it's a date night, and immediately the boyfriend goes ahead and grabs some of her noodles. He takes some of her noodles and puts it in his bowl, and some of the soup that came extra, and he's hogging the food as usual, and she goes to prepare something, and comes back to the table and notices that half of the special shrimp is already gone. Can you imagine? You've got this expensive food, you planned on sharing it, you planned on having a nice date together, and it's already half gone. You didn't even get to watch him enjoy eating it. I would be livid. I would be mad. But she's a better woman than I, and she says absolutely nothing. She stays quiet. However, while they're eating, something happens and he knocks the bowl, and the bowl falls over and the food falls out. And what happens when the noodles fall? They reveal the shrimp. It was the shrimp inside the whole time. That means he hid the shrimp. He had intentions of eating that shrimp selfishly and stealthily, like some kind of greedy ninja. like like some he like some kind of greedy ninja. He knew what he was doing. Now, I could see this. I could see if he was just thoughtless, no ideas about it, just eating mindlessly, not thinking about, this is good for her, this is good for me, blah, blah, blah. If he's just eating, that's better. That kind of selfishness can be negotiated or talked about. You could tell him, hey, this makes me feel bad when you do that. But this dude hid the shrimp, which means that he knew it was bad and it needed to be hidden, which means that his selfishness was taking priority over honesty with his girlfriend. I think he's a bad guy. So she's so annoyed. She's so annoyed that she goes completely silent. She gives him the cold shoulder, goes in the room, locks the door, doesn't talk to him. He shamefully goes home after begging her to forgive him, which she doesn't do, and calls her again and again and again the next day. But she doesn't want to have anything to do with him. Her emotions have dissipated. They're gone. Gone like the shrimp. And so she tells her friends, and her friends say, you should talk to him. You should work it out. You guys have been together for over a year. Well, I say let the friend date him, because I would throw the whole man away. Now, you may say, Maggie, that's very harsh. You have a husband. Don't you have to work through problems too? Yes, I do. But those problems are not lying and concealment. This is a big red flag. Yes, he only lied about shrimp. But if they'll lie about the little things, they'll lie about the big things. He was being selfish, which means he put his wants above her. He prioritized what he wanted, and he was willing to lie about it. If they'll lie about the little things, they'll lie about the big things. So, I say, good job, sister. Throw the whole man away. I swear, you guys are probably going to think I'm a really mean person, but I'm not. I'm realistic, I swear. So, what do you think? Do you think it was right to break up with him? Do you think that she should have broken up maybe sooner after this terrible habit began? Tell me what you think. Next time, we're going to be talking about a totally different thing, but who knows what that's going to be. If you want to find out, you'll have to like, subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, and please leave a comment so that we know that you like it and we can keep doing this kind of thing. Until then, I'm going to enjoy these noodles because they smell so good. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Stop watching me, weirdo.